here at Book Radio and everything that we do, guys, it is all about the freshest faces on television and music everywhere else. And he rocked our screens, our prime time. That is 7:30 on Mzanzi Magic. My brother's keeper, Ntando Mazibuko, is currently just doing the most on my brother's keeper. A little bit of a troubled child, trying to sort of, find his way or to cement himself. And finally, in a few episodes ago, he's actually, a part of the family officially. But the apple does not fall far from the tree. We are fun no babaka.
Yeah, man. Everyone asks me that question.
Yeah.
It's always, it's player mal.
And welcome to Book Radio. And thank you so much for, just borrowing us your time. We know that the filming schedule can get quite crazy. The early call times and the late wraps. How are you juggling with all this, given the fact that you are the fresh face in this whole filming and television schedule?
First of all, thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here. The change in my life in terms of scheduling has been crazy because I went from doing literally absolutely nothing to being on set almost every day. So it's been quite crazy.
Yeah.
But it's manageable because I love what I do. So yeah.
And what drew you to this character?
It's the fact that, first of all, I've never played a character that has this particular story to tell.
Okay.
The whole outsider to a family, trying to belong, that whole sense of belonging. It's that, and the fact that the character isn't too far from me in terms of the way that his personality is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Otoba's very loud, very out and about. And
that is you.
That's me.
Only 2000 and being seen and all of that.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, not all of those aspects are like me, but yeah, just
a fair bit of
general,
them.
Yeah, a fair bit of them, yeah.
Quite amazing. And the first time you auditioned, as well as just getting that call, the confirmation call, what was going through your mind? Bunobane, who was the first person you actually shared these great news with?
So when I got the call from my agent, essentially what I did the whole time was freeze.
Yeah.
I was in a state of shock.
Unbelievable.
Because I was trying to wrap my head around the fact that this is one, a telenovela.
Yeah.
Two, I'm part of the main character.
The main character, yeah.
Three, it's primetime TV. It's like, okay,
the pressure. Yeah,
exactly. So it's like, there's a lot that's going on, and my agent is busy. I'm explaining to me the I want to say the legalities of it all.
Yeah, the semantics and whatnot.
Yeah. We'll send through your contract. I'm hearing nothing. I'm just
the waiting.
What do you mean? What do you mean I got it? And I shared the news with my wonderful, wonderful, beautiful, supportive girlfriend who's with us in the studio.
Oh, nice. Hey, mommy.
Yes. Hey, lovely, supportive girlfriend.
Yeah, man. And what she did, she expressed more than I did because she just dropped to her knees and she cried because she knows how much we've been praying for such
a prayerful woman. Yeah, you got yourself a keeper right here.
Yeah, that's my wife right there.
All right, nice. Let's get a little bit controversial here.
Please.
How is she handling your fans? Your female fans,
especially the female ones,
especially in public, because I can tell a lot of your female fans are crazy about you. Yeah.
I think luckily for us, she's also in this
industry.
Industry, yeah. So we understand that there's interaction to be had with people who appreciate and admire your work.
Of course.
We've never gotten to a point where it's something that's very overzealous and very bordering on offensive or anything like that. So she really, I don't think, unless she has a story to tell, I don't think she's had to deal with something that's been out of the ordinary, something crazy. Yeah. So
and for you, Ntando, what is the importance or how important it is to actually date someone who's also in the industry?
Yeah.
For me, it's very important. I've had multiple conversations with other creatives about this topic, and some prefer to not, so that they've got a different perspective of life,
like a respite from your daily life.
Yeah. But I prefer it because there's a lot of things that we understand about each other without it being a conversation, you know. If I've got a super early call time, that's just what it is. If I'm coming back home very late because of my call time, you know,
that's the nature of the job.
Yes, it's the nature of the job, and we understand that through and through. So at any point when we need to travel somewhere or anything like that, it's not who you going with, who's going to be there,
who's your co-star.
I don't trust you. No, you just know that, you know, you just know that that's the vibe. So yeah,
quite amazing. It's amazing. And the most challenging thing about this character, or something that you really love to hate about Uthoba. Uyadina nomfana naye. Hey Uthoba ageza bafethu. Yes, uyangistress Uthoba fethu. Like ngathi ngamshaya nje.
Ustressa wonke umuntu. I'd actually like to say, Guti, we were taught, because I went to Wits and I studied theatre and performance, and it's very important that you don't judge your character. But there's been multiple times where I'm reading the script and
like,
I'm
really?
You know,
so we are my advisor now.
Come on, you know. I think what I admire the most about the character is his character arc, like the growth, the actual growth of Uthoba. I think in the beginning Uthoba was really like trying very hard to force his way in, and then once you forced your way in, I mean, even as a life lesson, once you forced your way into something or somewhere, once you're in there, you need to know how to navigate yourself within that space.
Of course,
True.
So I think we tend to see Uthoba do that a lot, even in the wrong ways, evidently. But I think his growth, you know, his ambition to do whatever it takes to get to where he needs to be.
And we are going Mjolweni, Ufunutidi, and how, like, can you just like give us a little bit of a snippet on, you know, will he finally win over Udidi and going against the cousin, like the rivalry, like the siblings rivalry that you and Sbu have, and also love your on-screen chemistry. Is it the same situation behind the scenes? Because like you guys vibe, I was like, are these guys friends in real life?
No, shout out to my boy Raphael Griffiths, man. We are actually pretty tight off screen as well.
It shows.
We appreciate that, and it made our chemistry a lot easier because from the moment that we arrived on set, we kind of just gravitated towards each other, and it was before he knew that I was going to be playing the character who is his cousin. So we already got into like a lot of conversation about just a lot of things in general, and we found that we actually have a lot in common. There's a lot of things that we think the same about, and then when you watch that on screen, it's very interesting because even though we have a lot of things in common, when you look at how Uthoba and Usbu are, they're the polar opposites. So you've got Uthoba trying to influence Usbu to be more like him.
Fire and water.
So it's an interesting dynamic to play. And with the whole DD chats, oh my days.
It's a fiasco. The love triangle, man.
The most ironic thing about that whole situation is the fact that there's no one in the whole show who speaks about girls and man, I got this, having fun, like Uthoba. Put a girl in front of Uthoba.
Ikwababa.
Could have saved him.
In this case, trust me, it could have saved him. And whether or not he's actually going to get to DD, I guess we'll have to tune in and find out.
Towards the end of March, we have to see how it unfolds. And the patriarch of the family, that is Ubabulindani Nkosi, umkhulu wakho on the show. What are some of the lessons you've learned from him, especially, you know, him being this legendary thespian and you still, you know, on the upcome?
Yeah. Oh man. Bablindani, what a warm, welcoming soul. I've learned a lot. I was actually this is it's so ironic that you'd asked this because yesterday on set I was in the green room, which is where we like chill and
Yes.
we de-stress and whatnot. And he and Umam Hlengiwe, who plays Umam Kono.
Oh, yes.
They
Such a
usually-
legend.
Yeah, man.
Yo. Her lines, her acting is just out of this world.
Out of this world.
Yeah.
They usually chill together in a separate green room. Yeah.
Oh,
Because
yes.
there's a lot of scenes that they're in together.
That dialogue is
they-
intense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're constantly running lines
okay.
and whatnot. So I tend to just drop in and visit as Mzanzi on the show, but also as Mzanzi like in real life.
In real life,
'cause
yeah.
There's a lot that I can learn from them. And I told them when I left the room, I was like, I'm so happy that I get to come to this green room and find so much healing and so much life lessons because there's a lot of things that they just like gems that they just drop.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, no, sometimes it's not about the fact that you couldn't cry on screen. It's about the truth of the moment. And as long as you've offered the truth, you've offered your all.
You've done your all. Yeah.
And I'm just there like, huh?
It's a masterclass.
Yeah, you have to cry on that scene.
Thank you. You know, so yeah, man. Same goes for Ubabli Ndani. There's a lot of conversations I've had with him. A lot of things that I didn't know about him that I found out. I majored in physical theater.
Yes.
Which is like a lot of movement, almost
Definitely.
contemporary.
Adverts, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And I found out that so did he. You know,
Oh,
so
nice.
then we started having conversations about movement, about the complexities of movement, how those things come into play with what we do now on screen.
Oh.
Yes.
And then we also went to we got so deep into that conversation that it ended up spinning off into music, and we found out that we share a lot of similarities in taste
In the
in
music.
music as well. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
he's really into classical, and he's really into jazz as well. And that is something that is uncommon for my 2000. But yes, I'm also into.
Don't tell me you listen to Mozart, please.
I do Mozart, Bach, Chopin,
Debussy?
Debussy. Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
wow.
you guys are old souls.
Yeah, it's something that I tapped into very early because I'm also a music producer. I do Afrotech and Afro House.
Oh, nice.
So I like to.
You're quite
borrow-
multi-talented, right?
Hey man, thanks to God.
Love
But
it.
Yeah. So I borrow from a lot of those places. So getting into conversation with him, I think it always unlocks a new level of knowledge or
Yeah.
a new understanding of something. And there's also a lot of things that I've learned from him when I think I know something.
Yeah.
And he's like, but have you considered it in this angle? And it changes. I can literally know my lines about to go on set, and we'll have just a brief conversation before I go on camera, and I would have changed completely how I would play it simply because of the things that he said to me about the scene.
Quite amazing,
So yeah,
man.
no, it's an amazing experience.
And then just to off ramp a little bit from the work, what is your take on relationships being on social media, and also what are some of your pros and cons with the social media era that we live in rather?
I want to say, yeah, social media relationships.
Yes.
Um,
Niyapostana nje no sisi. Ngiyambona uyahleka in the
Sinukwazi.
background. Yeah. And those DMs as well.
Hey.
We are uncensored. Please be free.
Okay, so I think with on screen relationships, on screen as in like phone screens, posting each other and all of that. I think the power, as long as we remember that the power lies in our hands, literally, because
Yeah.
it's my social media, it's her social media. What we decide
You
to
drive the
post-
narrative,
Yes, we
yeah.
drive the narrative. You
Yeah.
know, so what we tend to do is post each other's accolades.
Okay.
So people know about us or about us being
Together.
together through the things that we achieve because of each other.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's not so much about today.
You went to soap, eh?
Yeah, today she didn't do this, so now I'm like, it's just. I think we drive a really positive narrative surrounding our relationship, but we don't post things that are just focused on our relationship.
Oh, okay. So you just celebrate each other. And,
Yeah.
Nice. And the phone policy, does she go through
Oh, yes.
those
Does she have
fan-filled
carte blanche?
DMs?
You want to know?
She has full access.
Oh.
Access.
my
She
God.
Wow.
knows all of my passwords.
Wow.
The only
Even the
time-
bank one.
Everything.
Yeah. Had to ask.
Hey, honest bean.
Everything. The only time that we don't have access to each other's phones is when the other is planning a surprise for the other.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
The
yes.
logistics of
Yeah.
everything. Yeah. I mean, my birthday is coming up and I haven't been able to touch her phone and I'm trying.
So you know
so
something's
hard.
cooking.
Yeah.
No, I know something's cooking. I just don't know what it is. Yeah.
And what you're going to be doing for your birthday? How you going to celebrate?
Only she knows. So I have no idea. Yeah,
Hey,
I
we
have
share
no idea.
mama.
You're not privy to that information as well.
I am.
So you also touched on the nuances of having a relationship with someone in the industry as well.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know, very controversial. What if you have a kissing or intimate scene? Does that move into an off-screen or it stays on screen, being the professional you are?
Such a good question.
I have to know.
First of all, I can only speak theoretically about this because I haven't actually experienced it.
Okay.
Yeah, because
on screen.
okay,
go. Akakajoli.
no,
okay.
ufuna udidi
And
kodwa.
whether or not you're Jolo, angikho sure. Angimthembi lo mjidi.
Ula.
Yeah. But we it's a conversation that we have a lot. We know that, like I said, dating someone who's in the industry, the things that you understand. So we've had the conversation, and we're always speculating about how we think we'll feel
Yeah,
when
of course.
we finally see it and whatnot. But in terms of on a professional level,
Yeah.
it stays on screen.
On screen,
As soon
yeah.
as it says cut, it's done. It is important to have good chemistry with the person that
Off
you're
screen,
doing
yeah.
it with
Yeah.
off screen.
Yes.
But as far as the whole relationship aspect of it goes and the intimacy and all of that, at cut, it cuts.
But is that easy to detach though? Because I get it, the professional aspect of it reigns supreme, but
Yeah.
the human element is always prevalent.
Yeah, it is always prevalent. But I think that's where also training comes in very
Fair enough.
handy. Because in that same breath, consider that actors can laugh with you right now and they say action and I turn and
Switch.
I cry and it's done. and it's done and it's believable,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think we're in the business of making things believable. So all I need to do is believe in the fact that what I'm doing on screen is believable.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And when it cuts, there's
There's
nothing
nothing.
there.
So,
Yeah.
so there's a seamless transition.
Yeah, so it's that constant thing of believing. It's like I know I've got someone who loves and cares for me back at home or whatever the case.
You're not
may be.
being defined
So-
by this moment.
Yes,
You're able
yes.
to anchor yourself out of it.
Yeah. Also, a very very important aspect of it all is the fact that you're working. It's not you. It's a character.
It's a character.
And it's very controversial when you say that because people are like, what do you mean? Because it's your lips.
see you,
I
yeah.
see your lips. Yes. My lips, but I'm simply the vessel in which the
Yeah,
character
definitely.
is living. So if it's Utoba, for example, if it's Utoba kissing Udidi, it's Utoba not Didi kissing.
Yeah.
You will never find the characters that play Utoba not Didi actually
Kissing in the green room.
Yeah.
No.
Quite a controversial one here, guys. We're still hanging out with Ntando Mazibuko, the freshest face on our Mzanzi Magic Screens. Yes, he's currently leading on My Brother's Keeper, which airs Mondays to Friday at 7:30 p.m. on Mzanzi Magic Man. Yes, that DSTV channel 161. When we come back, we're just going to be getting into a little bit of his goals, man, and also what sort of material he wants to challenge himself with, and also some of the like the biggest actors that he would like to share some screen with. Ilevafeto Ntando Mazibuko, well known as Utoba Shabalala on My Brother's Keeper, the troublemaker. Uyagoa emjolweni.
Uningi.
And we therapist Kasibusiso bafethi, but makuza kuye I know we are south. Yeah. And off air we were just sharing your interest on the music industry, production, producing and DJing. Could you just please share with us that sort of aspect of your talents and your journey?
So I am also a musical producer. Like I have said, a music producer. I do Afrotech and Afro House.
Oh, nice.
Which then it makes it easier for me to transition as a DJ.
Yes.
So I'm also a DJ, but I'm what you call a performative DJ. So
Break it down.
Imagine Black Motion,
Yes.
but one person.
Oh.
Yeah, so I do both the drums and the playing
wow.
at the same time.
Oh, that must be so challenging.
That's quite
A
yeah.
pre-production of that.
Yeah,
because you by the time you get on that stage, you actually have to have everything ready.
Yeah, no,
Sure.
you need to be switched on.
Are you on
Yeah.
any narcotics when you're doing that?
No.
That level of
No, just
energy.
to know,
No, that level of energy requires something.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
mhlawumbe ufuna nje
Yeah.
isindiyana, you know,
Nah,
istifnyana,
to myself,
isifnyana,
yeah. Nipistano.
Nah, I make it a point to always perform like rock sober, because then I allow the music to
Yeah.
be what drives me
Yes.
more than anything. So often, if I'm not feeling a set, you will feel with the music that's playing, not the skill. The skill will always be on point,
Okay.
but the type of music, you know. So there's music that's high in energy,
Okay.
and there's music that's low in energy. So if I'm in a bit more of a chilled type of state, the music will be a lot more easygoing.
You
more
might even give us a clear de lune,
beats,
maybe.
maybe. But yeah,
But
and
then,
then
that music is quite intoxicating. Those drums.
it is.
Yeah.
So you can imagine why when I step off the stage, I'm like, whoo, that was a lot because I was taken there, but by
Yes.
the music.
You're in a
I
trance.
don't need no narcotic.
Nah, we don't do that. Aupuzi. Because you know the industry, like you're gonna blow up. You already are really becoming like a favorite in the media space and in the industry. You are definitely gonna be getting those invitations to like your award shows, the openings, the festivals, and everything.
Yeah.
And you know, talking about all things festivals, you guys look quite familiar. I think I bumped into you guys at Hey Neighbor. Yes.
You definitely did. You definitely did bump into us there. Yeah.
What was your highlight, or who was your highlight?
First off, I want to say Kendrick Lamar is my absolute favorite
K-Dot.
rapper. Yeah, K-Dot Lamar. He's my absolute favorite.
Sure.
However, my favorite performer of
Yeah.
the night was Zex Bantwini.
Oh yes,
That man can
Zex
perform.
on
Bantwini.
Friday night.
Yeah.
No, Saturday night.
Saturday, yeah,
Saturday
it was
night.
Saturday.
Yeah,
Zex
he was on
Bantwini,
fire.
He was on fire.
And
I
he
think-
came actually after Shimza.
Yeah,
Yes.
that transition from Shimza to
Yeah.
Zex, that it was seamless. It was perfect. It was beautiful.
Nice.
I've noticed that there's something that happens to South African performers when people from abroad are here.
Yeah.
They show off.
They
'Cause
level up.
Yeah, Casper Nyovest did the same thing in
Global Citizen.
Global
Yeah.
Citizen.
He actually opened for Beyonce and
Yeah.
he shut down
And
for
he
South
he shut it
Africans.
down.
Imagine
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, he shut it down.
But why since in Njalo Mfethu? Why the sickening work ethic that Americans and the British have? Why don't we have that with each other? Because I could just actually book you for 5 p.m. But I know like half of these DJs, including Black Motion and all these big DJs, taking streams of bookings within a day. Like
Yeah.
I know the South African artist will always arrive like a couple of minutes late or an hour late.
I think when it comes to when there are people from abroad, there's always someone new for you to impress.
Yeah, true.
Which means there's a higher chance of your next phase in your career.
Yeah.
You know, in South Africa, you know, you're used to the audience.
Yeah.
The audience is used to you. In most cases, when these people come to perform in creative spaces, they are the most respected people there because they are the pinnacle of
The
whatever
bar
they
is
want
there.
to do. You know,
Yeah.
Different plateau. Yeah.
Exactly. They are the bar in essence. So now when there's people from overseas, you know, when Beyonce's here, Beyonce's manager's here.
Yeah.
Beyonce's travel what is here. You know, there are people who make
whole
Beyonce the
team.
brand, yes. Who are now there that if you play your cards right, if you talk to the right people, if you perform
Uzongena,
correctly,
what is-
Ungena, you know what I'm saying.
Lokele.
What's about Tyler?
Yeah, you know. So I think that there'll always be a level of
And to show
this
up.
is what we're doing. We gotta show up even more than what we've been doing. So,
Nice.
yeah.
So, Ntando, what is on your vision board? How does the next 5 years look like? Acting, music, and also some of the roles that you really just want to try out, and the material that you really want to explore in this industry as a thespian.
I really within the next 5 years, I see myself abroad.
Yes.
The Hollywood. I'm one of those people who still believe in the Hollywood.
The American dream, Baba.
Yeah, that Hollywood dream. But purely so that I can eventually come back and be a part of great content, which is something that we are. I think we're really starting to embrace.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
The
really,
production quality.
The production quality,
Yeah.
We're really getting up there, you know. So I want to be a part of that as well, but on a whole different level, in the sense that instead of just being in front of the camera, I'm the one who made it possible. You know, I'm the one who's providing a platform for
Producers
others
credit,
to go,
To open up the
to
industry.
open up the industry, yes, things like that. But more specifically, in the next 5 years, Ntando will have at least four movies, you
Yes.
know, feature films,
A couple of soft stores, maybe.
Oh yeah, a couple,
Definitely.
maybe even a nomination for an Oscar. Who knows?
Yeah.
Academy Award. Wow.
We're up
The Academy's looking. The Academy's looking.
And just before we close, what is the biggest misconception about being an actor in your experience?
In my experience, it's the fact that I
see. Is the mathing
Let me put it this
for
way.
most of the actors?
Let's be honest.
Let me put it this way. It helps if you've studied for what you're doing.
Okay.
It helps if you've studied.
Qualification.
So we need
Phela
receipts.
we
We need
from
receipts.
privilege.
Suge wham.
Yeah. But the biggest misconception for me is the fact that actors are liars. No, yeah. I've heard that a lot, Oti. Especially with the whole relationship thing. They're like, but how am I supposed to believe you? You know,
You might be feigning interest.
Yeah. Previous relationship interests have had those conversations.
Yeah.
And I think it comes from a lack of understanding that we're not in the business of lying. We're in the business of seeking the truth. You know, the truth of the character, the truth of the story, the truth of the narrative arc, and the truth of the art in itself. Yeah. So even though on screen the life I'm portraying is not the life of my own, but it's the true life of that character, and I have a life of my own. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I will never lie
Very
to
concise.
you.
That was all you needed, actually.
Super loving. And in closing, what will be your advice for someone who wants to get into the acting and the music industry?
I really, really, really advise people to actually take the craft seriously.
Yes.
A difficult thing about the craft is the fact that we, especially in the arts, is that, you know, a lot of people just take it according to talent. Okay, I'm talented.
Talent alone is
Yeah,
not
no,
enough.
it's
talent
not
alone.
sufficient.
You need a
No,
skill.
It's not. Yeah, you need to hone that skill. Make sure you're constantly learning. Study for acting, study for music, learn. Even if it's not like in a formal institution, there's a lot of resources that are available online and all of that. You know, just make sure that you make use of the things that are at your disposal to make sure that you are better than when you were just working off of talent. Talent
feel it.
alone is not enough. Yeah.
Wow, man. And how can we get a hold of you across the social media platforms?
I'm available on Instagram and Twitter and recently TikTok, Ntando Mazibuko.
That handle is like a sentence or a line from your script.
Yeah, and it's just my full name and surname. Otherwise, you can also find me on the streets as Tribal Africa, and that's where you can find me playing, DJing, and that's who I am.
Quite amazing. Thank you so much for, blessing us with your presence and, just opening up and allowing us to get to know you, for us as the co-hosts and the station itself, as well as the co-hosts, the listeners, man. Thank you so much. God bless you. And we can't wait to have you once again. Anytime you drop some new